So whether if it's just content or you need content and design or and printing, we have very flexible, customized services here.
Awesome, thank you. Donna, do you want to go next?
Sure. Are you giving me time later, or do you want me to go do it all now?
If you want to do it now, it's
Sure.
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
No, I'll do it now.
Okay.
I'm Donna Rebus, Director of the Women's Business Center. We're located in Utica, New York, but we cover 29 counties. So most of Central New York is my territory. One thing I want to make clear is our services are free. We can work with you through email, phone calls, Zoom calls. Any way we can figure out how to get together in this time, we try to help you. We're here to help you with all of your small business needs. If I don't have the answers, I have a resource base that I can go to and get you the answers to your questions. Anything else, just give me a call. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Anne, you want to go next?
I'm Ann Flaherty, and I have a small private practice counseling business. I'm a certified rehabilitation counselor and a licensed mental health counselor, but all of my work has really come to a screeching halt as a result of the pandemic. And I'm mostly, this topic caught my eye and interest because of my daughter-in-law, Devin Flaherty, who is a blogger, and I follow her, read her blogs and her book reviews, and she's a wonderful writer. We're very proud of Devin. So I thought, well, I'll do that so I can learn more about what Devin's up to, and then realize she might enjoy attending as well. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you, Anne. Thank you for inviting Devin too. We appreciate that. Mary, you want to go next? Mary Raposo, I'm going to unmute you. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Hi, I'm Mary Raposo, and my business is Infant Light Center for Yoga and Wellness. We're in Jamesville, New York, and we are not open yet, but we are have been given the green light, so we are just waiting for our inspection to be open. We offer yoga classes, Pilates, lots of fitness classes, and we also offer wellness services. And I do a lot of writing for my work, so a lot of promos and, curriculum, things like that, and just, email newsletters and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to kind of, just learning a little bit more about how to, get to people and how to be effective at that today.
That's awesome. And something I'll share with you is really why I started blogging too, is I was doing my Wednesday Wisdom editorial. So I had content, like instead of trying to figure out what to write new on my blog, I had already had content every week, and that's how I started. So you may find that some of the stuff that you're writing consistently to market your business, you can also use blogging. So you don't have to always recreate. So thanks for being here, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, Devin, you're next. Oh, let me unmute you, Devin.
Oh, there.
There you
okay.
go.
So no, it wasn't working. So I'm from North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina. Yay. And I'm a writer. So part of the thing the editors look for is a platform. And I've been blogging since, actually I've had a website since the 90s. But the one I'm working on, or the one that I use right now where I blog about publishing, writing process, and I do book reviews is, I don't know, I've probably been in it 6 or 7 years. And I've just let it accumulate people. So I have about 700 people who follow it. But I am actually a full-time homeschooler. So I am building up that platform in the background, on the back burner, for in a couple years when my son goes to high school. And then it'll be like,
yeah.
So.
you could probably blog on all your expertise of homeschooling, and so many people could use it right now. So good to you. Good for you, Devin. I'm glad you're here and joining us. Okay, so Christina, you want to go next?
Sure. Hi, I'm Christina Warder, and I own SAME, which is an acronym for Soul and Mind Evolution. And my business supports families of all abilities. And so we offer inclusive programming and supportive services to individuals and families and caregivers. And I'm located in Auburn, New York.
Awesome, thank you. Christina's a new member, so welcome to Women Ties. It's nice to meet you face to face.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Lori. Lori, there we go.
Yep. Good morning, Lori D. Prospero, Rochester, New York. I own a Union Place Coffee Roasters. So we serve both the wholesale and retail customer. So our place is a little bit different in that we cater to the home coffee brewers, so people come in and buy beans as opposed to like a cafe with fancy coffee drinks. And I'm interested today, again, you know, I do a lot of my own marketing and, you know, newsletters and that kind of stuff. And so, you know, and I know blogging is important, and it's like the elephant in the room, and I'm always a little apprehensive to get started. And so I'm very curious to listen to today's presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, Lori. Appreciate it. Okay, Heather. So nice to see you, Heather. You want to, Heather was one of our Binghamton area members who I haven't seen in a while, and I get very excited when I see past members and women I haven't seen in a while. So it's nice to see you.
Well, thank you. Yes, my name's Heather Soden. I'm with NFP. Used to be National Financial Partners, but we've gone to letters only. And in March, I was sent to work from home. I am an account executive, and I do health insurance for all business sizes from 2 to over 1,000 employees. And working from home is very new to me, not being able to go out and visit with my clients. So I thought looking into this blogging would help me advance my career since I am stuck at home.
And you're not the only person that feels that way too. I've been blessed to be most of my career I've been home-based, so this was new for me, but it's not new for everybody, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. So we're here to help. If I can ever help you, phone call, talk through it, I'm happy to do that.
Perfect. Thank you, Donna.
Thanks. Okay, Ginny. Let's see, we're going to mute you. Hold on here. There you go.
There you go. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fabulous. I'm Ginny Ronick, and I'm a life coach for women, and I help mistreated women build resilience to overcome limiting self-beliefs and self-sabotage for a more productive life. And so I write blogs for my website, and I haven't written one for quite a long time, so I need a kick in the backside to get going. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. It's good to see you. And Ginny's in Rochester as well. And that's a good reason, and anything, again, is you can start again. It has to just become kind of a habit. And I would say to women that are challenged by it, I said, well, I write the Wednesday Wisdom every single Wednesday morning. So jump on and try to do it on Wednesdays with me, and maybe develop that habit. So,
yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Kim, can we see you? Where are you?
Good morning, everybody. Kim Pandina Pandaware, and Tracy is right. Blogging is a habit. It's one of the things during the pandemic that had fallen off my marketing plan. And so during the pandemic, I've made sure once a week my blog is out there. That's the frequency I've always put it out there. And some weeks it's been really hard, but I make sure it gets out there.
Awesome. Great, Kim.
Yep, I'm in Rochester, New York, and I'm a lapidary and jewelry designer.
Yes, beautiful jewelry. Okay, thank you. So I think with that, I haven't missed anybody, right? I think I got everybody in my Brady Bunch little squares here. So at this time, I've learned, instead of giving bios for the speakers, because they end up talking a little bit about how they got into what they do, that I just turn it over. So I am going to turn the screen over to Jenna and let her take it from here. Jenna?
Great, thank you, Tracy. Hi, everyone. I'm going to go through a variety of information here, and it sounds like we have kind of mixed levels between beginner bloggers and people who have done it for a while. It might seem like a lot of information at once, but like Tracy said, we definitely have time at the end for questions. So be sure to jot down any questions or ideas that come up, whether if it's related to exactly what I'm talking about or not, and we'll try to hit as many of them as we can at the end. We've had a little bit of an issue with the slideshow this morning, so I think we have a workaround, and hopefully it will work, but bear with me if it doesn't. Let's see. All right. I started Silver Pen Productions because I wanted to find a way to help small businesses be able to have quality content and marketing materials, even if they couldn't afford a package with a big media firm like the larger businesses in our area usually do. I wanted to provide a service that could be flexible so businesses could choose only the services they really needed or could afford. While we work with businesses on all types of materials, one of my favorite things to work on are blogs. It can be so much fun to take a business's mission and convey it in a different way to try to reach people on a new level. Over the last several years, a business's digital platform has been increasingly more important anyway. But let's get real for a moment here. As much of us as some of us may not want to admit it, we have to face it. Our world has changed. When the pandemic rocked the world, everyone had to suddenly think outside the box. Seemingly out of the blue, we were faced with closed doors, continuing business as best we could from home, while the rest of the family was home 24/7 as well. In addition, we had to manage the kids with their virtual school, run the household, try to keep everyone healthy, and look for toilet paper, all while running a business. We had very little warning. We just had to adapt. It's been a confusing time with conflicting information and constant regulation changes, but one fact quickly proved itself. We can do a lot more virtually than we thought we could. We've survived the initial phase of this new COVID world, and now we just have to wait and see what happens. And that brings a lot of anxiety with it. We don't know if another phase is headed our way this fall or winter like they're predicting. And if it does, what does that mean? Will we be shut down again? Or will things stay the way they are right now? Will it be full lockdown this time? Could it possibly be worse than last time? What's going to happen to our kids in schools? Are we prepared? Will our business survive? So much is out of our control, but there's one thing that's not. We can be digitally ready. We have a little breather right now, and after these last few months, we now have a sense of what this all means. So we need to use this time to prepare the best we can. So what does that mean for you? For most of 2020, the world has been almost completely virtual and likely will be for a while, which means you need to make sure that your business has a viable digital presence. If you don't currently have an updated, mobile-friendly, easy-to-use website, stop everything else and start there. I don't care what kind of business you have, you need a strong website. It doesn't have to be fancy or extensive. It just needs to be solid and work well across technology types. While hiring a company to take care of that for you is the easiest option when you have a million other things to worry about right now, this may not be in your budget. And if that's the case, luckily there are some great low-cost do-it-yourself options out there. WordPress is still the leading platform for websites, but if you don't have much knowledge about designing a website, you might find it a little clunky and harder to manage. I've personally found Squarespace to be very streamlined and relatively easy to set up. They have beautiful modern templates that are easy to work with, a great help center for questions, and they take care of all the security and mobile-friendly technology updates for you, so you don't have to worry about staying on top of all that yourself. You need to think about what's important for your business, but a basic website should, at the very least, have a page that clearly tells what you do, one with your background or history, contact information, clear, easy to find information about the COVID measures you're taking and any new related procedures you might have, and if appropriate, an online store or directions for how people can order directly from you. These pages should be visual, with easy to skim content and at least some kind of picture or two. If you're able to include more visuals or videos, that's even better. People should very quickly be able to get a sense of the personality of your business, as well as to obtain all the important information they need with a quick click. Once you have a solid website, you then need to create or connect your existing social media accounts to your site. You also need to be sure to have a blog component as part of your website. You don't have to call it a blog, but that component needs to be there. If you have a modern CMS platform for your website like Squarespace or WordPress, then they already have this component built into the templates, and all you need to do is just activate it. It was important before, but now it's imperative to have a full digital platform available, both to service your current customers, but to also reach potential new ones, even while everyone is home. Having this platform allows you to show the world that you're a reliable and trustworthy source that's on top of things, a knowledgeable leader in your field, and that you care for your customers and put their interests first. This presence goes a long way. Businesses who were not ready to be fully online during the closure really struggled. Those who were able to quickly switch over to online ordering and business interactions had a much smoother transition. One question I get all the time, even before COVID, was if blogging is even still worth it. It seems like everyone's just on social media anyway, and blogging feels like such a waste of time when a small business owner has 100 other things to do that feel more important. But the short answer is yes. It's actually more important now than before. Blogs are not the boring personal diary type of entries they used to be. Now they are an essential marketing tool for any successful business. And throughout this pandemic, they have been vital to businesses having direct communication with their customers while their physical doors were closed. It doesn't matter if you have 50 followers or 500,000. A blog is your key to making sure your brand is seen within your target market. It not only allows you to demonstrate your knowledge as a thought leader and an expert in your field, but it proves you can follow through on the services that you provide. And now it also allows you to keep publishing up-to-date information to communicate with your customers in this current nearly 100% virtual world. Regulations are constantly changing, and people don't know who's open or not, or if a place is open, if they're providing all services or only limited, and what precautions are they taking to protect their customers and staff. What other measures have they implemented, like curbside pickup or free shipping? And what is the process for using these services? A blog allows you to control your own information so you can make sure it is accurate and reaching the people most interested in supporting you at this time. And an established blog now will last well beyond when the pandemic clears. It allows you to grow your brand awareness, create new networking opportunities, expand your business, and keep your name high up on the Google search list. It's your key marketing tool that you can use over and over for free, that you can also link to on any of your other social media sites. This is where you want to bring your followers, your website, instead of having them stop at Facebook. Google's constantly changing its algorithm to determine which sites it feels should rank high on their search results. There are many factors that weigh into this now, but one of the most important factors is having constantly updated quality content that contains useful and relevant information, not just a post stuffed with a bunch of keywords. The more you post, the more Google pays attention. And the more that social media interacts with your post, the more Google really pays attention. If you don't already have a blog, you'll first need to choose your blogging platform. It's best to go with whatever already exists for your website, which is one of the reasons why starting with that website is so important. But there are several other standalone blogging services as well, such as Tumblr, WordPress, and Blogger. Most of the options are free. These standalone services will help get your posts out there, but they cannot be customized and you cannot incorporate them into your current website address. You don't want just a link on your website that merely points to your blog. In order to be relevant in the eyes of Google's algorithm, your blog needs to be a direct part of your actual website. And despite that Google advantage, that's where you want your customers anyway, especially now. You want them on your site clicking around to see what you do, what you offer, and what they could order. You want them to see you as an expert in your field and that you care about your customers even during stressful times. You want to keep them on your site for as long as you can. Most websites now run on a CMS platform, which makes incorporating a blog extremely easy. Since many websites generally stay static because your basic information often doesn't change, having a blog component allows your site to look like it's constantly being updated. Remember, you could have the best brochure or ad in the world, but most people will not pick up the phone to call you until they have first checked you out online, if they bother to call at all. Having an incorporated blog gives you that credibility you need to stay relevant in this virtual world. Once you have your blog set up, now you obviously need to start writing. Here's where many people get stuck, but there are a few simple things to remember that will help your post to stand out. First, have a catchy title. Anything that relates to your post technically works, but some titles have been proven to receive more clicks than others. A few examples of popular types of headlines include the list. Lists mean traffic. People are always looking for the easiest way to find out the most important info, and a list will get you there faster. For example, top 5 ways to increase your blog traffic. The how-to. Everyone is constantly Googling how to do things, so help them out for extra media shares. A sample of this headline might be how to stage your house to sell quickly. The next type of headline is the promise. People always want something. If you could provide a promise to help your readers, they will feel compelled to click your article. Lose 5 pounds in 1 week, or reduce stress in 3 easy steps. The best and worst. Positive or negative, people are always looking to stay on top of things, so let them know what's up. An example of this might be something like the 5 worst colors for your marketing campaign. Facts, figures, statistics. People like to be able to pull out bits of trivia without having to spend a lot of time researching. So give them something they can use, like 20 fascinating social media marketing facts. And the last popular headline type is predictions and trends. Future possibilities or current trends pique people's curiosity. Who doesn't want to be able to look around the bend and be the first to know? Give them a glimpse for some extra clicks, like the hottest colors of 2020's fall weddings. Regardless of what you're writing about, be sure to include pictures and/or videos with your posts. People are very visual these days, and we're constantly bombarded with a barrage of info, posts, emails, and everything else we need to keep up with. Attention spans are at an all-time low, and people no longer regularly read things in depth. As we quickly scan through a newsfeed, our brains are not registering every title on the page. But if there's a catchy image included with it, we're much more likely to pause or click the post. Be sure to also designate one of your post photos as a featured image. This will stick your photo to your post, so when it's shared on social media, that picture will automatically show up with your link. Visual content is significantly more likely to be shared on social media than any other type of content. And people are 80% more likely to read content with colored visuals. Remember though, you cannot just pull any image off the web and use it. There are copyright laws that prohibit that. And if you get caught, you can be in trouble. You can obviously use your own pictures that you have taken or illustrated yourself. There are also several great stock photo sites, such as PhotoPin, that have a whole host of images to choose from that are either free or low cost. Just be sure to obtain the commercial license option when you download the photo. Regardless of where you got the photo, be sure to always include a photo credit, even if it's your own picture, so there are no questions. You can put this credit either as a caption on the picture itself or as a separate line at the end of the post. If you've downloaded a stock photo to use, be sure to read the terms included because they usually include a specific credit line the copyright owner wants posted. The other things you always want to include on your posts are categories and tags. People often ignore these fields, but they actually help Google know where to include you in a search and will assist in bringing the right readers to your virtual doorstep. Your category is a general group heading for your post. What is your post about? You typically want to pick only 1 or 2 headings here. For tags though, you can have however many you want, as long as they relate to your topic. You want to include any keywords that show the topics in your post. Be sure to also tag your business name, the name of the author of the post, along with your keywords, the names of people or places mentioned in the article, and any other subtopics included in the article. It's also a good idea to try to include some links whenever you can as well, especially links to more of your own stuff. If you've already written about something that relates to your current post, include a line at the end of the article that says related article, then the title of the old post hyperlinked, so your readers can easily click on it and be taken straight there. If you happen to mention it in your post, then just create the link right there within your content. If something in your post relates to a page on the rest of your website, link to it. Even if you're talking about someone else's business, story, or site, link to it. Readers like being able to quickly and easily find the information they're looking for, and Google likes seeing related links as well. You want to keep people on your site as long as possible, so the more opportunities you can give them to explore through your site, the better. People remember easy to use and helpful websites and are much more likely to come back to those. And the more they're on your site, the more likely they are to eventually use your services. Once you're set up, you obviously need topics to write about. I suggest creating a list of ideas before you begin. Having a strategy on what you'd like to cover will make it easier for you to regularly produce content. Remember that building a blog takes time. You need to learn what your particular audience seems to take to and what will work for your business. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be there. When creating your list, think about the services or products you provide and do posts that give background information on those. You also want to impart free bits of wisdom from your field of expertise. Are you an artist? How about a post on easy techniques for a beginner painter or how to choose the right colors for your project? If you're in real estate, tips on how to stage your house to sell. A florist? How about a post on the flower of the year, color trends, or a post on the meaning of certain flowers? In travel, how about something like the top 5 secrets of surviving Disney? Financial advisor, maybe something like 5 steps you can take right now to protect yourself from the pandemic slump. Own a coffee shop? How about a post on the different types of beans or a recipe for a great dessert to pair with your favorite coffee? People are coming to you with a specific need in mind, and you want to show them why you are the expert in your field. Don't be afraid to think outside the box and allow your site to become a useful tool for people, something they can talk about and share. The more of a resource you are, the more your name will be out there and remembered. Your posts don't have to be only about specific services you provide. You could also write about things that relate in other ways as well. For instance, a company that manufactures items for pregnant or new moms doesn't need to only post about these specific items. They could post about things that relate to their intended audience, in this case, new families. Posts about picking the right daycare, fun crafts to do with young children, traveling with a child, pros and cons of homeschool, how to safeguard your house for a new baby, introducing a family pet. Things like these would be fantastic topics to include in this company's blog. You could also highlight other things related to your field, such as the activities of other businesses in the area that correspond to what you do, or may be of interest for your key market. Feel free to shine a light on local nonprofits you support, or upcoming community events or networking opportunities. Show your sense of community and support for others. Write about things that are in the news or highlighted as trending topics on social media, and incorporate this into your blog in some way for some extra hits. You can craft your blog to be as specific or general with topic possibilities as you want. As long as you keep it professional and all within the personality of your individual business, you can be as creative as you'd like. And with everything going on right now, you also want to be sure to regularly include posts to let people know where you stand in the midst of all this ongoing craziness. Are your physical doors open, or are you only operating online right now? If you are open, what measures are you taking to protect your customers and staff? Do you have any required procedures for your customers in addition to wearing a mask at all times? Are you offering any new services for your customers to accommodate what's happening? Maybe things like curbside pickup, free shipping, FaceTime tours, Zoom meetings, or discounted deals? If so, post it and share it. Make this information easy for people to find. Everyone needs some reassurance these days, and if you prove that you're on top of things, it will make it more appealing for people to keep using you for your services during these times. Don't feel pressure to write a blog post every day. It's ideal to publish a post at least once a week, but you can write at any time. If you wanted to, you can even write 20 posts all at once and just save them for later. In fact, if you're able to do so, I would suggest doing just that. If you're finding yourself in a little bit of a lull right now, or if Sundays are your only quiet day, sit down and pump out as many as you can. That way, when things get crazy again, you can still provide that consistency in your digital presence. Most platforms include a scheduling feature, so you can write your posts, set the date and time you want that post to publish, then just forget about it and go on with the rest of your responsibilities for the week. If you don't feel confident in your writing abilities, or if you know you just don't have the time, you can always hire a content specialist to help you write your blogs and social media posts. But you don't need to be a professional writer to run a blog. Blog posts are generally written in a different style than a formal paper, article, or book anyway. For most business blogs, you don't have to wow your audience with a fancy or creative style. You're there to impart some information in a concise and easy to skim manner. Think of it as a conversation with your reader. Attention spans are at an all-time low, and people often won't fully read entire articles anyway. So you need to craft yours to be easily skimmable while still getting your point across. To accomplish this, use short paragraphs and lots of line breaks. Have headings and subheadings if you can. Bold important words or phrases to make them pop out. Use bullet points and lists when appropriate to break up the page and allow the reader's eyes to take more in at a faster rate. Spelling and grammar are still very important, but generally keep your tone more conversational than formal. Use contractions more than you would in formal writing. Vary your sentence length, but as a rule, shorter sentences are better. So, does all this really work? Yes. I have a friend who's a wedding florist. A few years ago, she was wondering if she needed to do anything with her website. I took a look at it and saw that it was not mobile friendly. It had very few pictures and no blog component. Now, this woman is one of the most talented people I have ever met. Her arrangements are beyond gorgeous and unique, but no one would know that if they looked her up online. I convinced her that it would be worth it for her to redo her site, so we worked together to do a very low-cost, template-driven site through Squarespace. It was automatically mobile-friendly, and the template was the perfect theater to showcase a gallery of her beautiful work. We connected her social media accounts and added a blog displaying pictures from some of her couples on their actual wedding day. We posted the blog links on her social media, and she upped her picture game, eventually choosing to focus mainly on Instagram. Within a couple of weeks, she called me brimming over with excitement. Jenna, she said, I just booked out the rest of the year. I can't believe this. My sales have gone up exponentially since the site went live. She always had steady work, but now she was seeing serious growth. Utilizing your digital platform works. Now, we mentioned earlier linking your social media to your website. Yes, as annoying as it may be, you do have to be on social media, especially now when everyone is stuck home and bored. They're generally doing two things. One, binge watching TV, and two, scrolling their news feeds. You need to appear on those feeds. You want to show people that despite shutdowns or whatever comes our way, that you're still active and still doing business. Even if you can't open, you should be on there, reminding people of your expertise and helpfulness. You want your name in front of them, so when your doors do open again, you're already on their minds. You also obviously want people to know the moment you are able to serve them again. The fastest way to get the word out about anything now is to share it. So start thinking more seriously about your social media campaigns. Every blog post link you publish should always then be shared on your social media. This is how you can get your information spread around, not only reaching your current customers and followers, but also reaching people who would not normally just check into your blog. There are a lot of people that won't subscribe to a blog because they cannot handle any more emails, or maybe they don't even know you have a blog, but they do still want to see what you have to say. Having your post show up in their newsfeed means your brand is still in front of their faces, constantly reminding them of your services, even though they haven't subscribed directly. And the more your post is shared, the more new eyes that will see it and hopefully click on the link. Now they'll be on your website and checking out what you do, all because you made such a helpful post. Being regularly seen on social media proves that you're still active, still serving your customers, and that you're ready to go, even if you're not fully open. It gives people the confidence that you're here and your business is stable, and they can feel comfortable supporting you during uncertain times. And right now, obviously, that's the main goal. But Google also likes to see connection to social media as well, so that's an added bonus. Search engines use social signals such as likes, retweets, shares, and comments as indicators of what people think is important content. These are woven into the algorithm that determines what appears on the first page of search engine results. Sometimes social media can feel like a waste of time when you have a million other important things to worry about for your business, or even just if you're struggling to get through another day of quarantine. But remember that Facebook alone has over 2 billion active users. Like it or not, social media is very important to the success of a business these days, especially when everyone is mostly doing business online. You don't have to feel pressure to be on every site out there, especially if you're not really using social media yet. It can be too overwhelming. Start by picking 1 or 2 services to use first and see how it goes. You might have to play with it a little to see which services will work best for your target audiences. Some people may find that Facebook has the most interaction, whereas others may find Twitter or TikTok might be better for their audiences. Or maybe all you really need is LinkedIn. If you're not sure where to start, I generally suggest starting with Facebook, Instagram, and/or Twitter first and go from there. They are still what I call the foundation sites, and they tend to have the widest range of audience. Consider using the video and live tools as well. Over the last couple of years, videos began trending as the preferred type of content. If you want to include a video as part of your blog post, post the video itself to your YouTube channel first, then embed the YouTube video into your post from there. And then, of course, share that post from your blog onto your other social media. This will get you hits across multiple platforms, and they should all lead back to your website. People like to be entertained, and they love feeling like they're seeing behind the scenes or getting to know someone on a more personal level. Videos can help them to feel that connection to you and your business. Don't be afraid to pop up a live video on your social media either. This is a somewhat new feature that has been really taking off. These types of posts go right to the top of people's news feeds and tend to get you a lot more exposure than a regular post. If you've never used this feature before, be aware that as soon as you hit that button for live, you will be broadcasting directly to your followers, and anyone that is currently on will see a notification that you are live. They'll be able to see you in real time as you're talking, teaching, performing, or whatever you chose to do. And they'll also be able to comment as your video is unfolding. You can choose to ignore the comments until after, or you could interact with people while you're chatting on the video. Up to you. Either way, the video stays up on your profile after it is completed, so people that may have missed it live can still watch all the fun later. You can also share the video at a later time for more exposure. The live feature and videos in general make people feel more connected, even though we're still viewing everything over a screen. People crave that personal connection, especially now, and showing a little more of these fun aspects of your business can definitely liven up your social media and help people to connect. Also remember to use your analytics tools. Most websites and business social media pages have a section that allows you to see how your posts are doing. Over time, you'll be able to see trends and what types of posts seem to garner the most hits, shares, likes, or interactions from your audience. As you gather more data, you'll get a better idea of what topics appeal to your followers, and you can use that within your future content strategy. The goal is to get as many people as possible to interact with your site, while making sure that all your latest and most accurate information is available. So tailor your content to include these hot topics or keywords. The analytics can also sometimes show you what your market needs. Do blogs about a certain aspect of your services seem to garner more attention than others? Maybe that's a way for you to boost your business. It doesn't matter if you're seeing huge numbers on your statistics. Many small businesses will never hit those big numbers. You just want to make sure you're hitting the right points. The goal is to show your expertise and prove that you are a valuable resource for your community, whether they're current clients or not. It's all about establishing your presence online so that if someone looks you or the services you offer up, they will not only be able to find you, they'll also be able to see you as a professional, trustworthy organization. There's a lot to think about when using a blog and social media, and I know it can all seem so overwhelming at first. Start by creating one thing at a time. As you get more comfortable, you can add on more or increase the frequency of your posts. And if you're really overwhelmed, consider hiring a content writer to help you with your strategy and to write some or all of the posts for you. Blogs and social media are a huge and free marketing tool that you can use to your advantage, especially now. So explore every option you can to really get your brand out there. If business is a little slow right now with the pandemic, use it to your advantage and build a strong digital presence. Even if business does go back to usual, a digital platform will only help your business become more successful. People are liking the convenience that online services and curbside pickup offer. I hear people all the time saying things like, why didn't we do this before? This is such a time saver. I'm definitely going to keep doing this even once things are safe again. Many of these digital services that companies are now offering are here to stay. This time has proven how much people really can accomplish digitally, and I think many of these things will not go away once things are fully open again. The companies that adapt to that from the start are the ones that are going to stick around for the long haul. So get in on it now while you can. Okay. So I know I've just thrown a lot of information at you very quickly, and we've just barely scratched the surface, especially if you've been blogging for a while, but we have plenty of time for questions today. So I hope you've written them down so we can get started. Maybe Tracy, you can unmute everyone and just tell me what questions you have.
Do this. I'm gonna mute myself. A message just came up here. Okay, hold on. All right. My computer's like doing something weird. What we did last time, yeah, I'll just unmute everybody. If you feel like you want to be muted, then mute yourself again. But what we'll do is we'll just go around. We have a good amount of time. Let's see, hold on a second. Yeah, we have like a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes to ask questions. So, if I ended up, I don't know. unmute yourself and ask a question. Pretend you're in a live event. Go crazy. Raise your hand or just start asking your question, and Lori, you want to go ahead?
Hi, Jenna. Nice presentation.
Thank you.
I did have a question. You know, we do a lot of social media. You know, we're connected to Facebook and we keep up with that real well. Instagram is doing pretty good. And then I do this monthly newsletter. And, you know, usually, you know, we talk about, you know, whatever the special of the month is, or, you know, some coffee fact, or how to brew a French press or something like that. So I thought, well, why can't I just like almost like use that kind of thing as a blog? Because the blog on our website just really falls down. I think the most current thing is probably 2 years old.
Yeah.
So I know that that's bad. And somebody told me to undate those blogs, which I'll do. But it's like, it's almost like I want to like, instead of like duplicating a whole nother thing, because it's just so time consuming, to like be able to just link that newsletter as a blog.
Absolutely. Yeah, and newsletters a lot of times hit different people anyway. You know, like people who sign up for your newsletter aren't necessarily the people that are checking out your blog every time. So you can definitely take the topics that are in your newsletter and just copy and paste them right into your blog as well. And then, because the good thing is some newsletters you can share on your social media, but the blogs are a lot easier to share to your different social media accounts. So take like, you know, if your newsletter, say, has like 3 different topics in it, make 3 different blogs out of it. You know, separate them out, and then you can share each individual blog link to Facebook or whatever social media you're using. And that'll help cut down on your time for sure. And then you can also like try to have other topics that are on the blogs that aren't necessarily in your newsletters as well. So you can try to get people on both sides.
Yeah. Then Jenna, how, you know, like how long should these blogs be? Is there kind of like, you know, because I know when I'm on the website trying to write some copy for something, you know, it's like 200 words or whatever. And it's like, oh my God, I can't write 200 words about this silly.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. There's no like set limit to how long a blog needs to be. I think it really depends on the topic you're talking about and your audience. So, I mean, if you work in a more like scientific industry, obviously your blogs are going to be a little more technical and more like read more like a real article, and they're probably going to be longer. I would say in general, a lot of blogs are like between 300 and 500 words though. If it's just kind of like a quick little, you know, quick facts, you know, like I said, attention spans are low anyway. So if people see a really long article, sometimes they're like, oh, never mind. Or they'll just skim your headings to get the gist of what you're saying, and then they're not really going to read it anyway. So as a rule, shorter is better. And if you can, if you have a longer topic, if you can split it up into separate posts, sometimes that's really great too. You know, you can have the first part of your topic and then have a link at the bottom that says like, want more or learn about this, you know, and then link to your next blog post. So it keeps people on your site, and if they're really interested, they can continue to read, but if they're not, at least they read that one.
And Lori, I would just say that my blog posts, which are typical of the Wednesday Wisdom editorial that I write every week, usually range between 350 and 500 words. To give you just an example, I mean, if you read the Wednesday Wisdoms, that's about what length they are.
Yeah, I have a lot of interns that work with me as well, and blogging is one of the things we work on because what they learn for writing in school is very different than business writing and, you know, digital writing and things like that. So it's a great way for them to learn how to be very succinct. And I always tell them, like, keep it around 500. You know, very rarely do they go over that unless it's like a really in-depth topic.
So then, like, as far as like, you know, the Google Analytics of them rating it or whatever, finding it or whatever that term might be, you know, is there like a magic number, like keep it under 500, or like does it matter with that?
For the word count, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
Well, just like, you know, like when, you know, Google rates something or
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, the word count doesn't matter so much. It's more about what the Google bots are a lot smarter than they used to be. So what people used to do was like general SEO, and they would try to stuff in a bunch of keywords and things that they thought Google wanted to see. And, you know, a few years ago that worked. now it actually works against you. Google does not want to see that anymore, and their bots are much more advanced, and they can actually see, do you have helpful information? So it doesn't matter if you have 300 words or 1,000 words, as long as it's like a really helpful post that's like geared towards a certain topic, seems to be related to your website. That's more so what Google's looking for. If it has links in it, if you have tags on it, that helps with the Google rankings a lot as well. You want to make sure that those tags relate to what you do so that people can find you in the search results. If it's been shared through social media, Google knows that. And that's why I'm saying it's very important anytime that you create a blog post, share it. So that Google sees, oh, hey, this is on social media too. People want to read this. Let's push it up a little higher. And the more it's shared, the more that's going to kind of, they work together now. So that's more so what Google's looking for than as opposed to like an actual length.
Okay. All right. Thanks, John. Good information.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lori.
Thanks.
Who's our next question, and who has a question? Oh.
Anyone? How about the people that have been blogging for a while? Do you have like, are there certain things you're stuck on, or, you know, questions that have popped up?
Well, I would say for me, it's interesting that you talked about the numbers, because on my blog, I think I have, like 3,300 followers, but I've been doing it for, you know, a number of years. And, you know, that's great. But then there was one of my friends who started a food blog, and she's phenomenal photographer, phenomenal writer. And she was like over 100,000 people, like within a short period of time. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So you know, I know food is, you know, probably a lot more exciting than feminist business stuff, but what would you say? So truly don't worry about numbers?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to build your following, but you do have to remember some industries like food is going to be bigger, faster. Like people love food, right? And they're looking for new recipes, and especially now that everybody's home and maybe a little nervous about eating out, they're cooking more. And also keep in mind something like a food blog is very visual. So, you know, the first thing you see are those gorgeous pictures of food, right? You know, just like you'll find like wedding photographers, their numbers are usually through the roof, you know, or pretty much anything in the wedding industry, because they have all those beautiful pictures and people are trying to get ideas for their own weddings and things like that. So keep in mind that some businesses are just naturally going to have a lot more followers. But if you feel like, especially if you're in a business like that and you feel like you aren't growing enough, you know, that's when you should sit and look like, all right, you know, do I have enough images on here? You know, is my platform, you know, how mobile friendly is it really? Like some things are technically mobile friendly, but when you look on the phone, the print is so tiny and hard to read. And I know, like myself, I will, especially now, you know, we're looking at a screen all day long, and it's like, if it's hard to read and it's later in the day, I'm like, nah, never mind. You know, like I don't have the energy for it. So things like that, like visual is very important. And if you're trying to build more, maybe do more with videos as well. You know, that's one thing that Google's picking up on more, and also the social media algorithms like Facebook. I have a real love-hate relationship with Facebook. I hate it, but I have to be on it. And I think that lately they're making it very hard for businesses, which gets me so irate. It's very hard. Businesses, I follow a lot of businesses and I never see them on my newsfeed anymore. And it's just because Facebook changed their algorithms.
Well, the other thing that Facebook changed, if you're somebody like me who has multiple pages, they don't let you invite friends anymore to see events.
Yeah.
Which just makes me insane. They want you to do advertising. So I actually wrote a letter to them yesterday, and I was like, you know what? Not all small businesses can buy advertising for every single event they're trying to do. Mr. Billion-dollar company, you know, and so yeah, it's made me want to like step back from it, but then again, I know my demographics on there, so yeah.
Exactly. And I have stepped back a little bit. I found, like for me, I've been finding lately that Instagram has been interestingly enough, connecting me with more local businesses. And then I have a separate site that's just for my writing and my creative writing. And that one actually tends to thrive better on Twitter. And I'm not a big fan of Twitter, but I've been trying to use that a lot more because that's where I'm getting the hits and the connections that I need. So that's what I mean. You really have to kind of play and see what works for your business. If you have a business that really responds to millennials and some of the younger kids these days, like you might want to try to do more on TikTok and Snapchat and, you know, things like that, which I'm not even dealing with right now. You know? But my demographic's older, so things like that, and videos, which I don't personally do a lot with videos, but I need to because they are paying a lot more attention to that. So for Facebook, if you are struggling with the same things, like I have to be on Facebook because a lot of my demographics are there, but a lot of them aren't seeing my stuff anyway. It's so frustrating. But if you were doing videos and live events, they're gonna see them, because that's how their little formula is right now. So it's definitely, it's scary to do the live event. And you know, it's time consuming to do videos if you're not used to them, but they are getting a lot more exposure. So it's something to think about too. And you know, like we were saying with reusing newsletters and things for your blogs, you can also make videos out of your blogs. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you do something. You know, you might, if you write an article for a newspaper or your local, you know, journalism, whatever you're into or whatever, you know, you can sometimes take a full article and create like 5 different blogs out of it. And from those, you can create, you know, 5 or 10 different videos out of it. You're not redoing your material, you're just presenting the exact same material in a different way, and that can be really helpful. You know, like I said, people like to be entertained. So I don't know if any of you see like the Holderness family videos, you know, that family that does like all the parodies and things. I see Devin nodding, yes, I have. You know, they're hysterical and they have a huge, huge following. And all they're doing is they're taking things that are happening right now and just making a funny video out of it. And your videos don't have to be funny. Obviously, they need to relate to your business. But just having that video out there, like I know anytime someone goes live, like my screen lights up, like that's the big thing now, like, oh, so-and-so is live, and it catches your attention. So if you're frustrated with Facebook, that might be some ways to kind of work around that without having to pay to boost your posts all the time.
Right. Good advice.
And Instagram's doing that too with the live videos and things. So
there's got to be more questions.
You know, I thought I personally left it shorter because I thought there'd be a lot of questions.
They're all shy, I can tell.
I have a comment.
Sure.
You know, we have been tending to do newsletters for a while. You know, we have Facebook and we, you know, do a lot with that too. But I've noticed over time that our nice newsletters don't have as great of an open rate. And when we ask people, they say, well, they're beautiful, they're great, there's so much information. When they say so much information, you know what they're talking about, it's too much. And they're like, I just save those for later, so when I have time. So I'm really kind of getting the hint that all of the work, all of, you know, the information and everything is valued in a way, but people are too busy for it. So I think I'm really going to re-strategize and take little pieces of, you know, we would have like 3 or 4 topics in our newsletter. And it was kind of like the old-fashioned newsletter that we used to do back in the day. And I think I just didn't update my strategy. So I think I'm really going to be able to use all of that and maybe even go back to some of it and really kind of repurpose it for doing some Facebook Lives and doing some, you know, posts and, you know, Facebook posts and, you know, just shorter blog posts on our website.
Definitely. That's a really good point. And if others of you are in the similar position, like I know I'm definitely one of those people that go, oh, I'm going to read it later. Like I have so many newsletters that come into me and I have files that I save them in, and my computer's getting full. And when do you really have time to go back and go through them all? You know, like every once in a great while, maybe I'll go back and click one. But it's been happening less and less lately. So and I think everybody is in the same boat. We're just overwhelmed with emails right now and other things that we have to do. So one thing you could do is, because you have a nice newsletter following, still keep sending out the newsletters, but all the topics you would normally include in the newsletter, make as blogs first. And then if your newsletter is monthly or whatever it is, in the newsletter, just have like the title and maybe a very short blurb as to what it's about or the start of it, and then have a link to read more. And they can click on that link and it'll just take them to your blog. And then that way they can choose what they want to read. And it's not so visually overwhelming when you first open it and you see, no matter how beautiful it is, if there's a lot of content there, you go, oh, I don't have time to read this right now. And you get that little panic, right? And you hit save later and then you forget all about it. But if it appears much shorter and it's like quick little blurbs or catchy headlines with the link, and then all I have to do is like, oh, my back really has been killing me lately. I would love to know what her advice is for that. And they're going to click on that one link. You may find more interaction that way. And then it actually brings them in on your website, which is added bonus. And you're in a great position to do videos too for what you do. I think there's a lot in the wellness industry that you can make videos out of, and even just show simple poses. Like videos do not need to be long, and if they are long, it's the same thing as opening a newsletter. People will be like, oh, I'll watch it later, or they watch the first few seconds and click off. I mean, I think I read about a year or two ago, so it's probably even less now, our attention spans are like 12 seconds long now, like seriously, which is, by the way, goldfish are 13 seconds long. So we have a shorter attention span than goldfish now. So, keep that in mind. Your first few seconds of a blog post or a video really needs to capture their attention if you want them to continue on to the end of the post. Even if it's only 300 words, like you really need to get them in those first few lines. And videos are the same way. So maybe just showing like one pose, that, if things like now, everybody's sitting in front of a screen all day, right? Like my shoulders kill me, my hips kill me, things like that. You could like really kind of tailor it to something like that. Like, oh, been sitting at a computer all day, your back killing you? Here's a great one to help your lower back. Or, having a hard time sleeping at night, like visions of all the horrendous things we're seeing in the news, like going through our heads, or thinking about all the things that didn't get done, having a post or a video about ways to just calm your body so that you can go to sleep. Like things like that are getting huge hits right now. And that can go for, any type of business, try to think of what people are going through now, and is there something that you can do to reach out to them, whether if it's a fear that people have or, a goal that they have, anything.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nice. Anybody else who's got a burning question?
Yeah, basic interaction. I've been doing my blog for 7 years, amazingly. When I started out, it was a lot more frequent, and this year it's become more frequent. And thankfully, it's on Google, so I haven't lost. So if someone wants a topic, I always tell people go to my blog and search whatever you're looking for, because I've been doing this for years, and you'll probably find something about it.
That's great.
The hard part for me is, and I don't get comments anymore. I used to get comments. We're all too busy, so shares by friends or business colleagues not really happening. So it doesn't seem to matter what the topic is.
Kim, do you share the posts onto your social media, like through Facebook?
Yep, everywhere.
Now, when it's a post on social media, do you get comments on Facebook?
Yeah, I get some.
That's where most people are commenting. Like I've been seeing that a lot too on actual blogs or websites. There's very few comments, but you can see that people are reading it and clicking into it, and because people aren't really conversing anymore unless they're on social media.
It's sad.
So it is sad, but that's where the conversations are. So that's why, like I was saying, this digital platform, the three things really are so important to work together. And you want to, you want all that great content on your actual website, but where everybody is on social media. So you want it first on your website, but then you really want to share it and try to get it out on social media and try to garner conversation. Sometimes, like if you post it, if you, on your like little caption that you add on your share box, you know, if you put in like a question for people to try to encourage them to interact with you, you know, and try to start a conversation in that way. That's another way to really get attention for your posts, and for people to see that and go, oh, hey, you know, a lot of times like I'll get people who will tag someone on the post because it reminds them of a conversation they had with a friend. And that just opens it up to new people. So don't worry so much if you're not getting comments directly on your blog. That's pretty much everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
The big thing you said was Twitter and being able to track visitors. I'm using a URL shortener so that I am tracking which blog posts people are coming in from, because I was just doing it to the blog in general and it was really hard to see, you know, what the people were doing. But the upside is that now that I'm using the URL shortener, I see which of my posts are getting the most interaction, and some of them it's real quickly, and Twitter has been the big thing for me. It doesn't seem to even matter what time of day, because guess what? Somewhere in the US, somebody's always on Twitter. There's somebody that can't sleep. There's an early bird. There's somebody who just, you know, really hates that mid-afternoon, so they go on Twitter for a half hour in the afternoon instead of going to the water cooler. Doesn't seem to matter what time of day. Twitter's been the biggest thing for me for getting views. And that surprised me to my blog.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that's what I mean. Like, you know, I didn't use Twitter for a long time. It's just not like a platform I like being on. I prefer like Instagram. I like all the pretty pictures and stuff. You know, I'm a visual person. But yeah, you'll find there's certain things for each platform that works a lot better. Another thing to do too, to try to get that more exposure to your posts, like on Facebook or Twitter or any of them, the natural inclination is if someone comments or something on your post is to respond right away to it. But I actually try to wait to respond, because if you wait, it pops it back up in people's news feeds later in the day.
Okay.
So if you post something,
yeah, I've always been told to respond quickly, and now I'm understanding. Yeah, when I respond later, I'll get more comments, and I have to figure out where they came from.
Yeah, I mean it is a two-way street, because on one hand you want to like appear really responsive and everything, right? But on the other hand, you want exposure. That's the whole point of being on social media. So, you know, if you post something in the morning and you have those morning people, and Kim, like you said, there's people that come on, you know, on their lunch break, or people only come on, they have like a crazy job and they only come on like in the evening right before bed. You know, people are on at all different times, and you get different types of audiences at those times because it depends on their jobs and things like that. So if you post something in the morning and you are starting to get some comments, I always try to wait and respond to them later in the day or like in the evening, so that now that post pops up for the evening crowd as well. If you respond right away, I mean, there's so many posts that are constantly being popped up, boom, 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 boom. While we're talking, there's probably been a billion posts up there, right? So they very quickly disappear from people's news feeds. So doing that and kind of spacing out, you know, when you respond to people and things like that will really help your posts to get more exposure.
The other thing I've noticed is due to COVID, people's time frames are very different. I happen to mention there's a group that I weekly go to their Zoom meetings because they're on Zoom now, so I actually have the time to go every single week. And I just casually mentioned in my introduction graduation gifts if you need them, high school, college, whatever. And I actually had 4 people respond to that like last week. They're still looking at graduation gifts because, oh my goodness, time got away from them and there wasn't the big party. So before September, they want to get these things out to people. So it amazed me that people are still, I was thinking it was way too late, but apparently it's not. It's something I should still be looking at for marketing. It just felt weird.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, people, I think a lot of people have been saying this, like half the time I don't even know what day it is, you know, and oh my gosh, it's practically September. When did that happen? Like I was expecting this summer to actually feel slower, and I feel like if anything, it felt faster somehow. I don't know how it's possible, but time is screwy for everybody. So that's a really good thing to keep in mind. That's a great point, Kim, because don't assume something is done. you know, you can try it, and if you're getting no hits or anything, well then, okay, now you know, like, okay, move on to something else. But that's definitely a really good point.
Well, can you all, I'm in the dark here because it's getting, this is my pool house. So we don't normally have, I have as many lights on as I humanly can down here, and it is, and thunder's going on. So I apologize that it's like midnight here in Syracuse, New York. But I wondered if you could all, I want to stay on time, so I wondered if you could all help me give Jenna a round of applause for her presentation. Phenomenal, wonderful, as always. Someone asked Jenna if your power presentation would be available for print, but what I said is that we'll share this link, so you'll be able to, I'll put it on YouTube, so you'll be able to stop it and get some of the information. Jenna, unless you feel differently, but a lot of your content was written, was spoken, not written necessarily.
Yeah, and if you guys, if you have questions or anything like afterwards that kind of comes up as you digest this, feel free, shoot me an email. I think Tracy has all my info on the list, you know, or contact me through the website or any of the social media. You know, I'm usually on. Definitely don't hesitate. I'm happy to answer questions and help you on your way.
Oh, awesome. All right, we're just going to do a little wrap up, and we have a few raffles, and then I'll go out in the, I think Laura is up here in Syracuse, New York right now. But I just want to remind all of you that Women Ties for 15 years has been promoting, publicizing, and uniting women entrepreneurs online and in person in order to help them market their companies and unite with other women and increase their opportunities for revenue. And that's always my hope, because until there's a pay equality law, I truly believe that women should put their money in the hands and the pocketbooks and the bank accounts of other women first and foremost. And that's really a very feminist business mission. We don't have men involved with our events. I'm all pro-female, everybody knows that. So please, again, you have the sales contact list, so if there's some women here, we can't do business with everybody, especially people that are in the dark, but you can suggest and refer people to others. And so that's really important for us to continue this kind of economic circle of giving and promoting of each other. So please remember to do that. I will send you the Zoom podcast a little bit later today or tomorrow with some of my notes that I took. For events tomorrow, Rochester Women, we're going to be around 10 o'clock in front of the Susan B. Anthony House to take a short video and photo for the 2020 Women's City Suffragist Parade, which is virtual now. So we thought that would be a cool place to do it. And then we're going to have lunch after, so bring your face masks. But if you want to join us, let us know. I'm laughing because I look like I can't even see myself. And the Women's Business Center is sponsoring 2 more of our Zoom programs in September. One of them is going to be September 30th. Rochester woman Susan Jefferson of Tech Creative out of Rochester, sort of piggybacking a little bit on what Jen is saying, is going to talk about updating your websites and how to pay attention to it now and again moving forward. And Susan's really wonderful. A lot of you in Rochester know who she is. September 10th and 11th is the dates. I'm looking for one more speaker. I've got a couple of requests out, so pay attention. And if you're a member, our very first monthly online Zoom meeting is going to be September 2nd. It's the 2nd of every month at noon. I know not everybody can hit it. I just had to pick a date, pick a time, and it's going to be open to answering any of your questions, getting you to network better within each other across the state or country. And I'll be talking about the different PR benefits you can use to promote through the Women Ties marketing platform. So I'm hoping, if I have one person on the call, I'm happy. If we have, 60, that's great. But, it's specifically related to answering the survey response that more women want to meet others and they need to find new customers as well. So I thought this was a great way to do it. Remember that Donna's got a survey attached to, I sent it in your email yesterday. If you can take that, that would be wonderful. It's a very quick 5 questions, and that would be great. If you're a member who has not done the survey yet, if you could do it, we're still collecting responses. I'm just going to share this kind of positive news with you from it. I asked our companies, did you have to close? Are you doing worse than you thought you would during the pandemic? Okay, good, thriving. And 50%, I think it was 60% are surviving and thriving, which surprised me. I was very glad to hear that because I was really worried about our members. So not everybody's taken it, but if you could take it, it's helping me to figure out how best to help all of you. And we have a raffle drawing, if it's not soaking wet, coming in my window here. I always like giving away things, whatever I can. And so we have 2 drawings, and for our non-members, we have a membership. You could win a membership to Women Ties. And the winner is, all your names are in my little white hat that if I was wearing, you could probably see me better. I get goofy at the end of the day, so or the end of the Zoom meetings. And the winner is, I'm not seeing anything, I'm just pulling, Devin from North Carolina. Yay! We've been adding women from different parts of the country. So Devin, I'll let you know. I'll send you the information for that. So, and thanks to Anne for having you come on board.
Yes, great.
Taking out all those names, and I'm putting in all the member names now into here. And this is for banner advertisement. I feel like I'm in Halloween or something. Okay, let's see. This is for a 1-month banner advertisement on the Wednesday Wisdom, and let's see who that is. It's Mary Raposo from Infinite Light and Yoga Center. So Mary, I'll get a hold of you, and then you can promote whatever you're doing.
Thank you.
You're bringing into the light instead of the darkness. So,
thank you.
Can you help me one more time give a round of applause to both Jenna and Donna for being sponsors and presenting? And I'm going to unmute you all. I just want to thank you very much from the dark pool house and the bottom of my heart for being part of this today. I know that you have so many other things you could be doing, and I, number one, applaud you for investing time in your business by learning something new. And for the price and for the time period, that information was so valuable. Please reach out to Jenna. There's some things I've got to reach out to her about as well. And remember to reach out to other women that are here on this phone call. And to live the Women Ties mission, to buy from women entrepreneurs, women that own their own businesses, first and foremost, as often as you can. And I look forward to seeing you on a sunny day in the light at some other time in the future. And until then, please take care, be safe, be well, and email me if I can do anything else for you. And reach out to Donna if you need any of her free services. Donna, is there anything else last minute with the PPP? All the money we're pretty much at 11/29.
PPP's gone, but there still is the economic disaster loan.
Okay, all right. So reach out to her if you need some type of help with financing. Thank you all so very much.
Tracy,
Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah.
Quick question, just because of the wet forecast for tomorrow. When are you deciding if we're doing morning, afternoon, what we're doing for tomorrow?
I'll probably make a decision a little bit later since I'm supposed to be in Rochester at 10. So
Okay.
I'll look at it and talk with a few people that are meeting us, and then we can make a decision.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Enjoy your
Thank
day.
you.
Good writing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.